Good morning. Today is Wednesday the 26th, and I have completed my 4th round of treatment. So that was 4 months basically. So this Tuesday I did not have Taxotere, which is the chemo. I had Herceptin and Perjeta, so just those two. So I still brought my extremity cooling, my recirculating water to keep my hands and feet freezing, to hopefully sidestep any peripheral neuropathy, which so far to this point I have not experienced. And I almost decided not to bring it yesterday because I was going by myself and I honestly just didn't want to feel like lugging it. But as I thought about it, I would be pretty upset with myself if I ended up walking out of there with some nerve problems, and then if they lingered, I would just be upset at myself for knowing better. So I didn't, and I pushed myself to bring it all there, and so it went smooth. If you're noticing that I have all puffy eyes and my face is all swollen, it is. I've had a hard 2 days. On Monday evening, I found out that my mentor, my teacher, and I don't know, my overall favorite physician in the world passed away, Dr.Guy VOYER. So I've been taking his classes for a while now, and so it was a big shock to the community, and I'm really bummed because I have completed everything in the online portion of all of his, not all of his programs, but many of his programs, and I've taken quite a few in person, of course, too, but I haven't gotten to meet him in person yet, so I would have met him in March this past year. And in fact, if I had known I was healthy, I would have probably gone in December and January when he had a viscerology course for his DO program that I've been wanting to take, and wanted to finish the pelviology portion of it, which is all about the pelvis, of course. And so just a big shock. And it's a bummer because he was, he's just one of those guys that's like full of a lot of knowledge and hadn't gotten a chance to get it all out there. He had just recently been really pushing to get it out there in sort of an online platform format, but he's not great at doing that stuff. He never could put it into binders, so a lot of his other teachers and practitioners that have learned from him have made a lot of the study material that we have, because there was, some pretty terrible pictures. That's all they used to have, pictures labeled in French, and they're kind of odd angles to look at. So not the best of learning materials. So I'm really sad. He passed away on Sunday. I got the email. I didn't see it until Monday when I got back from Mistletoe. So yeah, I started to see everybody's post on Instagram, you know how that is, and I was kind of confused why people were saying, rest in peace, Guy, and so then I figured it out that, of course, he passed away. So it's, I think that's just terrible. It's just a big shock. Nobody has released how. I'm sure it had something to do with his heart. I had a feeling he wasn't looking so healthy the last year, really. I have made comments on hoping I get to meet him because he doesn't look so good right now. The man had been through a lot. He was a professional, really top-level judo fighter for many years, and apart from being an amazing DO, doctor of osteopathy, and probably the best manual therapist, in my humble opinion, and probably many people's opinions, probably the best clinician out there. Worked with the tip-top of athletes. You knew him if you were an elite athlete and you needed really good work. So, I think it's, I'm spacing out because I'm, of course, just really sad about this, but I think it's a terrible loss. And so I feel mostly upset that I didn't get to meet him. So, in person. He knew me, but, you don't really know your students until you've met them in person. And so I was all set to go to the Dominican Republic the last week of March, but had to cancel because I was starting chemo in the beginning of March. So life's too short. Don't, don't postpone a trip or a seminar or something that, you want to do. So that's my lesson for today. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm settled. I'm working on trying to figure out some of the anger that sort of nestles in and kind of gets stored in your body. It's associated with the liver, so I think it's a thing that I need to be processing, because I've cleared the liver, but the last few weeks I have felt some sensation there after mistletoe, so it's inflammatory. So mistletoe is going in and attacking something, or essentially kicking on my immune system to start attacking something. So to me, in the back of my mind, I think, okay, cancer is still there, and it might not be seen on a PET scan, but scans aren't perfect. And so I'm just hoping that I can keep addressing this stuff, so my body does keep going for it and cleaning it out, and working out some of these maybe little pockets of necrotic areas, or maybe even some of the cancer stem cells that might have gotten nestled in an organ or two. I'm hoping that my body is still searching around and destroying those. One thing that I have learned, and I probably have mentioned it before, but I will mention again, is the only thing I've ever read about that directly kills cancer stem cells is matcha. It's the only thing I've come across in all of my research that can actually take out some of those stem cells. So matcha, if you don't know what matcha is, it's green tea. It's basically the green tea leaves. So all tea comes from one plant, and that one plant gets processed in many different ways to get all our different types of tea. But if they take those leaves and they grind them into a powder, it creates matcha. You probably can't see, but it's pretty green in there. So matcha is a powdered leaf, basically. It should be quite vibrant. You always want to get the ceremonial grade, which is the highest level grade of these leaves, which really comes down to when they're harvesting them and what qualities are contained in the leaves that you're trying to promote or access in your tea. So ceremonial grade matcha is the way to go. There's a company here in Asheville that's really great. I think they're called Nude, like they're naked, Nude Matcha, I'm pretty sure. I get them all the time, so I'm pretty sure that's it. But that's the best I've come across. And I've ordered the legit stuff and paid even more money, and I thought it was too grassy. And I like grassy. It's okay with me. It's not sweet stuff. So if you're drinking matcha and you're like, oh, it's too sweet for me, that's because you're getting not real matcha. Matcha is actually quite bitter, kind of grassy and earthy. And then people usually back sweeten it to make it palatable. I'm not doing much for the sweetener these days, but sometimes my vanilla flavored almond milk, or I do macadamia milk, or some of the lower sugar milks, plant milks, I'll mix in with it. I have a little frother, and that's lovely. I did put some vanilla, protein powder in here from the Keto Chow folks. It's the beef protein base, because I can't do the whey. I have an issue with dairy. So the whey protein, a lot of people do that through chemo because they say it can reduce mouth sores and other GI issues, and it helps you get those building blocks in. And the research, sort of what I've found, is it really does look like whey is the better protein overall for chemo-related issues. It did not talk about this, the little sidebar that some people are allergic to dairy, and that might actually be worse off. If you're allergic to something and it's kicking up a lot of inflammation, that's not going to be great for your healing. So I didn't really mention that. So I'm not sure. I'm staying away from whey. I don't do well with dairy. So I did this other protein, and it seems to be pretty good. So it kind of sweetens it up a little bit naturally that way. You could always put a little bit of molasses in it, which I actually thought did not work in a matcha well at all. Thought it was disgusting. I sometimes just put a little flavoring of vanilla in it, and that really helps. That's how I get Sarah to enjoy it usually, is I'll just top it with a little bit of vanilla extract. And yeah, maybe some bee pollen if I'm getting fancy on the weekends. I don't know. But I keep it simple for me. This is a Mary matcha, so it does have a little bit of cannabis butter in it. I call it my Mary matcha. Just a nice, smooth, easy way to make sure the day goes smooth and make sure that I don't get any kind of waves of nausea. I have really done so much better with that. Getting on top of it early, kind of predicting it, it has not been an issue, which is really wonderful. So I guess I'll start my 5th round of chemo next Tuesday, and we'll go with that. I think next Tuesday is going to be the 2nd of July, so we're cutting into another month, and I meet with Dr. Rob. So I'll have updates next week that are more impressive than this week. But hoping that she says, Janine, 1 more round and we're done. But I technically should be going for 2 more. So we'll start the 5th round next Tuesday, and I'll keep you guys all posted, and we'll just take it one day at a time. I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you have a great week, and thanks for tuning in.